12 hours of power cut every day. Massive electricity shortage crisis. Power plants shut down. 79 garment factories shut down indefinitely. Vehicles of paramilitary forces attacked. Massive food inflation. And to put the final nail in the coffin, the Adani Group wants its $800 million back. And this is the state of Bangladesh in September 2024. Welcome to the Bharat Perspective, and today we will discuss the disaster unfolding in our neighboring country Bangladesh and how India should respond when the country eventually turns into a failed state. Yes, given the trajectory Bangladesh is in, it is a question of when and not if its state machinery will collapse entirely. When Sheikh Hasina fled Dhaka on the 5th of August, the overwhelming sentiment on Bangladeshi social media was at least one of great optimism. Their youth leaders would have you believe that Sheikh Hasina was the only person holding Bangladesh back. And now that they had succeeded in chasing her out, these student leaders would transform the country into the United Arab Emirates of Southeast Asia, with the twirl of a wand. It soon became evident, however, that forget UAE, Bangladesh would be lucky if it managed to avoid the fate of Libya. Organized pogroms against its Hindu minorities, targeted assassinations of politicians associated with Sheikh Hasina's Awami League, infighting within factions of the major opposition party BNP, with murders involved. General lawlessness giving way to rampant looting, rapes, murders and robbery. All of this became the order of the day. But the new interim government remained in denial of the dire straits that the country was in. But they can remain in denial no more. Because in a matter of days between the 8th of September and 11th, it became clear that unless something miraculous happens, Bangladesh is going to the dogs. Allow your humble host to summarize the major headlines between these dates for you. Just to emphasize the points, almost all these reports are sourced from one single English newspaper operating in Bangladesh, Dhaka Tribune. The electricity crisis. According to a report on 11 September, the Bangladesh Power Development Board (BPBD) says that the country needs 16,500 megawatts of electricity daily. But on 9 September, it generated only 12,444 megawatts. Bangladeshis are experiencing power outages for as many as 12 hours a day, which has disrupted the industrial production. There were four primary causes of this. The Adani Group had reduced its electricity supply from 1500 megawatts to 1000 megawatts. Tripura delivered only 60 to 90 megawatts per hour against expectations of 160 megawatts, a difference in the range of 1680 megawatts to 2400 megawatts on the day. Coal imports for Matarbadi power plant in Cox's Bazar were halted due to corruption charges which reduced power generation by as much as 600 megawatts. In addition, the Barapukuria power plant was shut down due to technical reasons, and that meant that it could not generate the 285 megawatts of electricity it was expected to. All of this combined means that the rural areas of Bangladesh are suffering power cuts for as many as 12 hours per day, which apart from affecting daily life has severely harmed industrial production as well. Now you're wondering how long will it take for the government to solve this crisis? Well, I don't have an answer to that question, and unfortunately for Bangladeshis, neither does their government. The Finance and Commerce Advisor to the interim government, Dr. Saleuddin Ahmed, told reporters on the 10th of September that it will take some time to resolve the crisis. How long is some time, you ask? Well, I don't have an answer to that question, and unfortunately for Bangladeshis, neither does their government. But judging from the timidity of the advisor's response, it sure doesn't look like it is getting resolved anytime soon. And now that I've explained Bangladesh's electricity crisis, I will try to move through the rest a bit faster. Bangladesh was forced to import over 2.3 lakh eggs from India. If you have been following the news updates on Bangladesh, or if you are a Bengali or have Bengali friends, you have surely heard the bombastic declaration from the head of the interim government, Muhammad Yunus, that the export of the Hilsa fish to India, a favorite of the Bengali community, will be halted ahead of the Durga Puja. Well, now it seems that this decision has less to do with the pandering to the anti-India Islamist in the country and more to do with the fact that Bangladesh is grappling with major food inflation. Bangladesh was forced to import more than 2.3 lakh eggs from India to curb the rising cost of eggs in the country. It was the first that eggs were imported through the Benapole port from India. If nothing else, it does tell you that after the electricity shortage crisis in the country, Bangladesh could soon have food shortage to deal with in its hands. Industrial shutdown. There are massive protests underway in Bangladesh across its garment manufacturing units, demanding higher wages and better working conditions. Things got so bad that a vehicle of the Rapid Action Battalion (RAB) was vandalized by protesters and almost set on fire. With no resolution in sight, 79 factories have been shut down indefinitely. And you should remember that garment manufacturing is one of the most important industries of Bangladesh with an estimated value of around $19 billion. It was expected to account for more than 10% of the global market by 2025. Furthermore, the SN Corporation shipbreaking yard has been forced to shut down after a blast at the yard that killed 2. That is another industrial unit that no longer works. Complete breakdown of law and order. I am sure that you are already well aware about the ongoing persecution of Hindus in Bangladesh. It is terrible what is happening out there. I won't talk about that much here, but I will just mention one particularly gruesome case here. Utsav Mandal was lynched by Islamists in Khulna over allegation of blasphemy. Utsav was lynched in the presence of the Bangladesh army and the police, who did absolutely nothing to protect the young boy. The Islamists were so bloodthirsty that the authorities were forced to declare that he was dead so that they could get rid of the mob. Later, it was revealed that he was alive and he was taken to an undisclosed location for treatment. While Utsav is alive, it tells you everything you need to know about the situation of Hindus in Bangladesh. Apart from the ongoing pogroms against Hindus, there is general lawlessness in the streets as well. BNP leaders are killing each other due to infighting. Awami League leaders are being assassinated one by one. Frivolous cases are being filed against celebrities and sportsmen associated with the Awami League. For example, Bangladeshi cricketers Shakib Al Hasan and Mashrafe Mortaza have been accused of murder and rioting respectively, simply because they are Awami League leaders. All this while, dreaded terrorists are being released from the jail by the interim government, and private property is being occupied by Jamaatis and BNP leaders simply because they can. Apart from all this, the biggest threat of the lawlessness in Bangladesh comes from Myanmar. 14,000 Rohingyas had reportedly entered Bangladesh in the first 8 days of September, and another 60,000 or 70,000 were already at the Myanmar border waiting to cross over to Bangladesh. And here the Bangladesh border guard have proven themselves thoroughly incapable of putting a stop to it. This is the worst time for an illegal immigration to hit Bangladesh. Electricity crisis, food inflation, lawlessness, and now Rohingyas at the border. Yes, this is not Westeros from Game of Thrones, this is Bangladesh in 2024. A massive fund crunch. Bangladesh owes the Adani Group $800 million, and the Adani Group now wants its money back. And that is the reason why the Adani Group had reduced electricity supply to the country by 500 megawatts. That is not all. Russia wants Bangladesh to pay back $630 million it owes on the Rupur nuclear power plant. This financial crunch comes right in the aftermath of the recent floods in Bangladesh that have claimed dozens of lives and caused incredible damage. As per reports, thousands of kilometers of roads have been damaged. Millions of people have been left homeless. It is estimated that the crops worth $285 million have been damaged, and there have been losses to the tune of $34 million in livestock. And the amount of money that will take to repair 6,542 kilometers of roads and 1,066 bridges and culverts, disrupted key transportation links including road and rail connections between Dhaka and Chattogram, will take millions of dollars as well. All in all, it is a disastrous position for the interim government to be in. Bangladesh will turn into a failed state. What should India do? I have already told you why Bangladesh will turn into a failed state. And now the natural question is that what should India do? Frankly, there's only two things that matter for India when it comes to Bangladesh. And it is these two reasons that have motivated the Indian government to go so far to develop Bangladesh under Sheikh Hasina, sometimes even at the cost of our own domestic industry. The first thing is our borders with Bangladesh that are crucial for our national security, and secondly, the welfare of the Hindus living there. Apart from the fact that Bangladeshi Hindus are essentially our people, their welfare has a direct impact on Indian politics as well. And no Indian government can afford to sit back idly while Hindus continue to suffer attacks there. It will devastate their own political weight. The collapse of the state machinery in Bangladesh will put Hindus at great risk since they are in the minority. And in the absence of law and order, as we saw when Sheikh Hasina fled Dhaka, it is extremely easy for Islamists and jihadists to massacre Hindus. So, given that it is extremely likely that the Bangladesh state will collapse, so we should focus on addressing these two concerns alone. With regards to the border, in any event of state collapse, India will have to explore military intervention in some shape or form to acquire new territory, so that we have new borders with Bangladesh that are more defensible. Capturing more territory from Bangladesh will help us defend Bangladeshi Hindus as well, since we can settle our Hindu brothers and sisters there and protect them through the Indian army. The Banga Sena has an interesting solution to this. The Banga Sena is a Bangladeshi separatist group that has been demanding the creation of an independent Bongo Bhumi for Bengali Hindus for decades. They want 6 districts to be carved out of Bangladesh for this. The 6 districts are Khulna, Faridpur, Jasor, Kushtia, Barisal and Potuakhali. If Bangladesh is partitioned and an independent country for Bengali Hindus is established, it will solve all our problems at one go. The Indian government will then be able to prevent the illegal immigration of Bangladeshi Muslims into India and protect Bangladeshi Hindus. It sounds easy enough, but there could be grave consequences for such action. But that is a matter we will explore in some other video in the future. So what do you think? Should the Indian government take military action to partition Bangladesh when it turns into a failed state? Let us know in the comment section. Don't forget to like and share this video and subscribe to our channel. My name is Sudhanshu. I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching the video.